All right, so we are gonna do a quick instructional video on how to make your own mock-ups for Etsy or however you sell your products online. If you hear some noises in the background, that's just my husband making himself lunch because everyone's hanging out at home today. Actually, for the next month, so not even just today. All right, so I already have selected a photo here that's pretty neutral. I will probably do some tweaks to it to make sure that it fits kind of the color scheme I have of existing mock-ups that are on my website. But this is a pretty good photo. A way that I get photos for mock-ups is through, you can purchase photography that allows you to modify the photography, or some sites have it for free. I can give you some links if you're interested in that. But basically for this one, I just got it from one of those free sites that allows, my husband's trying to crawl underneath the camera. It's all right, I'll crop you out if I have to. But sorry about that. So what we're gonna do here is just use one of those photos that I've already gotten. The original photo actually looked like this. If you see here, I've already removed some of the existing artwork that are in these frames. And the final product will look something like this. So that's actually my design in the frames. Again, you want to make sure you're getting these photos from sites that are allowing you to do that and are okay with that. Oh, see, I got an Etsy deposit. That's embarrassing. All right, so basically I've cleared out the pre-existing artwork here. And the next step is we're going to add smart objects so that we can put in our images. Now to add a smart object, you're going to go over here to this handy dandy rectangular marquee tool. You can see it up there. It's doing its little thing. And then you're going to drag to about the size of what you want your image to be. Now this is a dual image mock-up. I'll do a simple one too, where it's just a single mock-up, but just for my purposes of using this personally, I'm going to do it this way. So once you have it kind of dragged over the area that you want, you're going to right click and do a new layer via copy. All right, so we've got layer 1 here. Now we're going to convert that to a smart object, which again, you're going to right click, convert to smart object. So you'll see here there's a little icon in the corner, and that's how you access your smart object. So go back to clicking your background. You're going to use that marquee tool again. Remember, we haven't even gone away from that. Right click, new layer via copy, right click that, convert to smart object. Now with this one, since it's a dual, you just want to pay attention to which one's going to be your left piece and which one's your right piece. If you have a continuous piece of artwork like the one that I'm going to be putting in here, it's like a sun setting, moon rising kind of thing. And so you want to just make sure you put that in order. Some people use like the inhale, exhale, or his and hers, or vows, whatever you're doing. That way you're making sure that it matches up the right way. So in order to place your object in, and then I'm going to show you how to kind of distort it so it looks realistic in your mock-up, you're going to go ahead and click whichever layer you'd like to start with. So we'll start with layer 1 just because. You can also rename your layers. You can name them photo left half, photo right half, whatever you'd like to that makes it a little bit easier. For me, since I can visibly see the side that it's on, one's more left, one's more right, I don't do that. But you absolutely can. So when you see here, you're going to see that in your marquee, you've pulled over part of the picture frame because again, we just sort of did an estimate about how far we wanted to do it. So I like to go ahead and make a new layer and just delete that one. So that way you've got a transparent background. And that way it doesn't, when you're putting in your artwork, pull over that cropped part of the marquee. Okay, so in order to place your artwork then in here, you're going to do place embedded. And I keep all of mine kind of lined out here. Lana is one of the regular designers I use, so I actually put her in there too. So Etsy designs, I think right now I have a couple that I've just made, but I'm just going to grab one just for an example. So we're going to do the half and half here. Sorry about that, my emails keep popping up. All right, so I've got sun half, 16 by 20. So press enter and it's in there. Now this is going to leave it at the proportions you have, and again you have a transparent background. To save your smart object, you can do just save it this way. That's fine. You can also do Command S, either one. So once that's saved, you can go ahead and click back to your original piece, and you see you've got your kind of haphazard artwork in there. So when you go up here, I apologize, I should say that, to the Move tool, you're gonna see the transform controls. If you can't see the transform controls, go ahead on your upper part. There's a little click box that you can click in and out, and that'll show that. Some people don't like to see that, and a lot of my design work, I don't keep that up, but that is something that you can put on there. And then we're gonna do Edit, Transform, and we're gonna do Distort. Now, it's gonna look a little wonky when you're first kind of dragging it into the frame, but once you press Enter, it actually clears out pretty well. So we're gonna zoom in up here so we can get really close in, because again, the idea is to get it flush with your frame so that people can see what it would actually look like, and it doesn't just look like a copy and pasted image that's just been thrown in there. All right, so you can see our transform controls here, and like I said, it's gonna look a little wonky, see that? But we're gonna go ahead and drag it up. I am really close to my computer when I do this, but I also have glasses, so I should probably put those on for this. But anyway, so we're gonna drag it up into the corners. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and drag down. And again, I know it looks a little wonky, but once you press Enter, it all clears out and looks much prettier. All right, so there's Enter. And again, you can kind of adjust it a little bit. Like this one, I'm gonna adjust up just a smidge. But there you go, there's your first piece of artwork in there. And we're gonna go ahead and select the second one, same thing. So if you wanna see it again, you're selecting into the corner here, and it says Smart Object Thumbnail, and it's gonna open it up. And again, another good reason to rename your Smart Object thumbnails, or the layers themselves, what part you're working with, is if you have more than one frame that you're putting information into, then you can actually label it a little bit better, and then you know what art goes with that. So for example, I have a collage wall that I use for examples of seasonal prints. And I rename those things like square, 8 by 8, 16 by 20, so I know what ratios I'm working with as well. And again, you can hear my kiddo in the background, I apologize. Okay, so new layer, delete that one. If by some chance when you pull it across, it shouldn't, if it's pulling up as a background, just make sure you're not having an issue by having that locked or unlocked. Okay, so we've got it here, File, Place Embedded. And again, you can see all my fun shopping and everything that I do on here and all my designs, but we're just gonna go ahead and pop in the moon half here. So again, Enter, that'll place it, Command S or File Save, either one, and that'll go ahead and save that. Then we're back into our image here, and we're gonna do the same thing, Edit, Transform, Distort. So again, you're gonna watch me get really, really close to my computer here because I really, really like it to look flush and nice and natural and appropriate. Occasionally doing this with your designs is going to make them look, I wouldn't say completely different, but sometimes with your font designs, if you're doing any typography, that can make it look really different. So for this example, again, this looks fine. I don't know why it's being like that. There we go, okay. All right, here we go. Press Enter, and adjust that up, nope, down, good. Okay, so, and again, you can tweak it around however you want to. Now you can leave it like this, and it's gonna be a little bit more stark of a difference to your background. Again, you can adjust just the background if you'd like. I like to make them a little bit brighter sometimes, kind of more of a neutral color scheme. If you can tell, this one's a little bit on the greener side, so I'm actually gonna kind of bring up the pinks and yellows and reds a little bit. And that's again what I did on my one that you saw initially too. But another way to make these look a little bit more realistic is when you have the image selected as its layer in your whole mock-up, is by choosing Multiply or Darken. Now depending on the artwork, some of them are going to lose elements of the art if you do Multiply versus Darken. So, or Darken versus Multiply, yeah. So here's Multiply, and if you look here, see how it looks, it kind of matches more into the coloring of the image. It doesn't look so like stark like you just sort of pasted it in there. However, I will show you what it does with Darken. The sun basically disappears. So you don't want to do that because again, we're trying to give a realistic view of what your artwork looks like. So there is your beautiful mock-up for 2, and I'll go ahead and do a single frame for you as well, but here's just a good thing. And then you can go ahead and add it to your Etsy. I can show you it in real life here. We'll scroll down, and there she is. There's my mock-up. And all of these are ones that I've created. So if you look through, these are all mock-ups that I've created myself. So I will go ahead and send out some more tutorials. All right, thanks guys. If you have any questions, let me know.